Man, what a beautiful day. I'm out in the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Wilderness area again. I'm on Susies Lake this time. It's more or less at the southwest corner of Susies Lake, but I am working my way around to the east side of Susies Lake where I'll have some lunch. But I thought I'd stop and just take this moment to share with you some of the beauty that is the Birch Cove Blue Mountain Wilderness area. Just coming up the path, I flushed a whole covey of partridges. It's quite cool to see, even some smaller ones, and a few of them stopped in the trees, but not long enough for me to get my camera out. It's about mid-morning, and it's the first day of fall here in Nova Scotia. Unseasonably warm. It's already about 20 degrees Celsius. It should be a bit cooler than that. No bugs. That's the beauty of hiking in September. No bugs. But let me just take a second to show you what I have from my view right now before I move on to where I plan to set up and have some lunch. So I've been walking for about 20 minutes, half hour along the edge of the lake through the trails. And what I'm showing you now is the trail that comes out onto a little bluff where I'm standing. This is a mountain bike trail, quite heavily used by mountain bikers, but although I don't see many in these days, so I'm not sure if it's still as popular as it was. But I'll pan around and show you the view I have of Susies Lake. Now this is just a small inlet off of the Susies Lake. It's one of those nice little places where it's very private. I'm on a small bluff above the shoreline, and there's a little stream coming into the lake right about there, although with the dryness we've had this summer, it's more of a trickle than it is of a stream, but there's a little bit of water coming in and feeding the lake, one of the many that feed the lake here. You may be able to see in the trees around the shore that there's a change in the color of the leaves. Mostly it's the trembling aspen that are changing right now. We're in predominantly a softwood forest, a lot of pines, although it is speckled with some aspen, some oak, and some maple. Some of the woods I'll be traveling through today are predominantly oak and maple, which is kind of cool. And birch, of course. But yeah, what a beautiful day. I'll have to come out again in a few weeks and show you more of the colors. I hope they're good this year, but with all the dryness we've had, it's been unlikely that we'll get all the colors we have in previous years, but still a lot of fun. Alright, so I'm going to move on, follow the trail over in that direction. I know you can't really see it. There it is. And find a place to sit up and have some lunch. So I stopped to have a drink of water from the water bladder I have in my backpack, and this is what was right in front of me. I'm sure you can make it out. Look at all those wild raisins. And the area here is just full of them. Now you can see some reddish pinkish ones up there. They're not quite ripe. The blue ones are not even quite ripe. They will even turn, I know they look like a blueberry, don't they? But they will turn even blacker. And as they do and shrivel, that's when the ripe date. I think there's some right up there that are probably ready. They are edible. They have a huge seed in them, a single large seed in them. Not a lot of flavor to them, but they're edible and they can be eaten. I suppose they could be taken and made into pemmican along with other ingredients, but all through the woods here, even way up there, all kinds of the wild raisin bushes. I know I said it before, and I'm probably going to say it again. A day in the woods is a good day for sure, and today is just one of those special days. If you could just be here to smell the smells and see the way the sun is coming through the woods, man, I don't think it gets any better than this. Alright, there's the trail. Time to move on. Little trail footage. Made special by the sun coming through, so I'm kind of heading, I suspect, southeast right now along the trail. It does double back away from the lake, but it will join back up again. I call this a bit of an enticement. A reason for getting out into the woods. Hope it's not too shaky for you. I'm switching back around, facing more or less northwest again, back towards the lake. I don't know, is the camera picking up the smells? No? Well, that's too bad. Alright, a little further on, yet before I stop to have lunch. See you soon. So I'm a little further along the trail. I thought I'd just show you this because it never ceases to amaze me. The little bridge you see here, built by the mountain bikers. Their dedication to their sport, almost embarrassing in terms of how often they get out and the work they'll do to fulfill their enjoyment on their bikes. Nice for us though as hikers. You know, it's a bit of a rocky overpass, nothing that we couldn't have done, but just nice. And I'm quite a ways back. I'm probably 5K back in the woods away from the civilization at this point, so they had to carry that lumber in here and then take the time to build this. So thank you, mountain bikers. It's good for everybody. Okay, so I've arrived where I'm going to have my lunch. A little further than I had originally expected to. The wind has picked up. It is out of the north. So I came around to the north west corner of Susies Lake, where the woods would block me from most of the wind anyway. You may hear a little wind noise in the background. But I've set up a temporary camp here where I'll have some lunch on the lake shore. And so let me show you around and show you what I've got here. So first off, you can see behind me, these are the woods that I'm in. Considerably thinned out compared to the woods that I was in earlier on the hike. Now the campsite that I have, I've set up a day hammock. I call it a day hammock. It's not really big enough for sleeping in overnight. Interesting history of this hammock. Mike Barton, Bushcraft Bartons, was at the Nova Scotia Bushcraft Gathering here in August, and we had a trade blanket. A lot of things were laid out, and Mike laid this out, and I picked it up from him. It's an older model, DD hammock. It's a heavier material, as you can see. It's not a lightweight ripstop. It's not a parachute material, but it is very strong. Kind of blends in nicely into the woods here. The only downside to it is it's a little bit short for me, but it does make a nice day hammock, something I can relax in the woods here, or sit up and be comfortable in off of the floor. Alright, what else have we got? My backpack hanging over here. One of those little ropes around the tree and a toggle holding it up by the strap. Backpack's wide open. I've emptied just about everything out of it. My trekking pole. Always have a trekking pole with me. And you can't see it down there. Well, probably you can, but not very clearly. Little collapsible telescopic fishing rod kit that I'm hopefully going to put to use and maybe catch something to eat a little later. Alright, let's move over to the shore where I'll be making my lunch. Now, conveniently, somebody has made a nice little fire pit here right on the edge of the lake. Could certainly build myself a nice fire here. I am mostly protected from the wind, but I'm going to do something else I'll show you shortly. So here's the lake shore. Now, I did mention I'm in the Birch Cove, or the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Wilderness area. For those of you who don't know about that, it is literally in the heart of Halifax Regional Municipality. And as I scan around, you might be surprised to see some huge apartment buildings on the horizon. They are probably 7 or 8 kilometers away. That's in a direct line, but much further by hike. And again, this is just one of the small alcoves of the lake, or one of the small inlets. Beautiful spot. Just the same. Alright, what am I going to be using? Well, unlike my last hike in the Ash Lake area, I've decided to go kind of low-tech, low-cost this time. So what I've got here is a homemade IKEA hobo stove. Picked it up for literally 99 cents. One of our local thrift stores, Value Village. Put a couple of bolts in the bottom just to hold it off the ground a little bit. cut a hole in the side for feed. I've got some crossbars I'll put on top. It's amazing how well this works. I do have an embolit, but this works almost as well. And what I like about it is that it will fit inside my cook pot. My cook pot's a little unorthodox. It's a coffee canister, also 99 cents at Value Village. All I did is put a wire bail over it, a little loop type of thing on top for lifting it off, a little steam hole so I know when it's boiling. But boys, it ever worked well for me. So for $2 and a little bit of effort, I've got a very effective cook system. Alright, I'm going to take a few minutes to get set up here, and I'll get back to you as I get closer to setting my fire. Now hopefully you can see this if I bring it up close and the camera focuses. This is the branch that I took off of the pine tree. Not very much, but right in the outside of the branch there's a little bit of fat wood. Well, I'm going to make use of that. Why not? I'm going to see if I can't scrape that off with the back of my knife, make a little dust, and that'll catch my spark, which hopefully will catch the fine feathers I'm about to make. And yeah, start my fire from there. So let's see what I can't get off of this. Man, if you could smell this, what a beautiful smell. See if I can't peel off a few little shavings out a little bit. Oomph to the start. That should be enough. Now I've got to have a few feathers as well, very fine feathers. Let's see what I can't make off of this stick. Maybe off of here. There we go. Alright, we're going to put this all together. This will be a little awkward showing it to you because I have to transfer it into my stove from whatever I light it on. See if we can't light it on this. I have to be fairly quick once I get started. Okay. Ferrocerium rod. Triple X sable. Back spine sharpened. Let's see what we can't do here. There we go. Woo! Lit my napkin on fire. There we go. Quickly transfer this thing into the fireplace before I can't. Alright, fire's well on its way. Now I'll Going to take a break to feed it up and get set up for dinner. Okay, so what's on the menu today? Well, I didn't anticipate it being this hot. Probably shouldn't have been thinking about a hot meal, but well, it's what I brought. So I'm going to cook it up anyway. It is a soup. I'll give you a glance at what it looks like in the bag before I put it in the pot. Black bean soup. I was in one of our local stores recently and came across a package of black bean soup mix. All it was required was some chicken to be added, maybe some salsa. So I had dehydrated chicken, stuff I made myself at home. So I added some dehydrated chicken, a little bit of dehydrated beef. I didn't have any salsa, but I did have some dehydrated sun-dried tomatoes. All together, corn, black beans, onions. I think there's some carrot in there, quite a few red peppers, and spices. It's going to take a bit of time. It's not an instant meal. It's going to take a bit of time for it to simmer and cook, but I think this will be... Whew, does smell good. Spicy. All right, let's go over and have a look at the fire and see if our water's ready. It's only been a couple of minutes, but I think it is. There we go. Hard rolling boil. Rather than let the food soak in the water first, I wanted to bring it to a boil because it is water from the lake. So just to be sure that it was safe. Probably was, but why take a chance? Anyway, it's boiling now. I'm going to add this food, put it on to simmer, and bring you back when it's pretty close to being ready. Man, doesn't that look good? Black bean soup. Chicken, beef, corn, peppers, onions, black beans, of course, spices. Yeah, it's going to be quite a meal. It's a little too hot to eat yet, but won't be too long. It's been sitting for a few minutes. Didn't expect it to get this hot out today. Whew! Anyway, kettle's back on. Got to have a cup of coffee. When water comes to a boil, I'll probably be able to let the fire go out and have hot water for my coffee. Yeah, I think it's come to a boil now. I see steam coming out of the top. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to bring it back coffee time. Yeah. Talk to you soon. So if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe. I'm a new to YouTube person, but I think I might have something to offer. And I encourage you to leave comments below. And we'll see you in the woods. We'll see you on the trail. Get out and enjoy this beautiful weather. Bye for now.